to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. Start by calling the roll. Mr. Carino, Mr. Bates, here. Ms. Carnabucci,
Here.
Mr. Legata,
Here.
and Mr. Stein. Here. Your Saturday, Jessica. Start by approving the agenda and addendum items. Request a motion. Thank you. Call the vote. Ms. Carnabucci,
Yes.
Mr. Legata,
Yes.
Mr. Stein, Mr. Bates. Next up is to approve or amend the meeting minutes for January 21st, 2025.
These are the January.
Oh,
The January, between the January.
give me a second to look at those.
Second.
Jessica, you want to make a mention?
Yeah, just on the second page of the January 21st, 2025 meeting minutes, if you look at presentation of payment report, there is a typo. It should say that we reviewed December's, not November's. It's under the presentation of payment reports on the second page of the meeting minutes. We had a presentation of financial statement first, and then we did presentation of payment report. There's a typo. I have November in there. It should say December. It's very clear about it.
All right, that was the motion to approve the meeting from January 21st, 2025 with the correction on our presentation of payment report, December finance, where it says, Mr. Oros asked if there were any questions about the payment made in December as opposed to November. Request a motion to approve that amendment.
Legata, yes.
Thank you. Call the vote. Mr. Legata,
Yes.
Mr. Stein,
Yes.
Mr. Bates, and Ms. Carnabucci.
Yes.
All right, next up is a presentation of the financial statement, January 2025. Dawn Sweeney, go ahead and go over some fund balances for us, please.
For the month of January, the general fund had a beginning balance of $4,238,852 and an ending balance of $3,869,547. The land improvement fund had a beginning balance of $1,352,935 and an ending balance of $1,323,934. All funds combined had an ending balance of $5,193,480.
Dawn, any questions from the commissioners on the monthly financial statement? The month ending January 31st, 2025. Not entered into the record. Thank you. Next up is a presentation of payment reports. Bills paid for the month of January 2025. Just a second to look at those. Questions on the bills paid for the month of January? All right, hearing none, we will move on. Next up, old business and a planning update for Deputy Director Matt Q.
Before we get into the updates, Paul Peter, our park biologist, is here. And Paul, do you want to introduce our newest land steward?
Sure. This is, I'd like to introduce Rebecca Cantrell. Rebecca is our newest employee with Natural Resource Management. She's a land steward. She comes to us with some background in invasive plant management and deer management. She's from Cleveland State University graduate. And why don't you talk just quickly about a couple places you've been working at?
I worked for a couple of years for the Cleveland Museum of Natural History as a land management specialist on the Menor Marsh group. And then I moved on to the city of Menor where I was a natural resource specialist with 3 seasonals under me. And we did everything from deer management, invasive plant management, to migratory bird banding. So I got a little bit of everything in my background.
Yeah, we're excited to have her aboard. Much needed, so thank you.
And while we're at it, Dennis Stone, you want to introduce our new park ranger?
So this is our newly acquired park ranger, Mike Beats. Mike comes to us from University Hospital PD. He also is a graduate of Tiffin University with a master's degree in criminal analysis. And if you want to a little bit background on your 10 years.
10 years law enforcement experience. Started out at Timberlake Police Department, working the road there. Moved to Madison Village, worked as their SRO, worked the road a little bit there too. Got started in the community, working at Madison Village. Then moved out to UH, kind of learned the more non-traditional type of policing from them, and bringing all of my experience here to the Park District.
Welcome to both of you.
Good to have you. Planning and project-wise, just a couple updates. I mentioned last month to the commissioners, the ODOT, the Westwoods Bridge project that ODOT is letting for us, that will let on February 27th. So we'll look to see, if they award that much. It looks like there's a couple of contractors on their plan holder list right now, so I'll let you know as soon as we have an award on that. Sunnybrook Preserve, the asphalt improvements for 2025. We had an RFP that was out, that was due on February 7th. We did receive 4 proposals. The apparent low is Cunningham Paving, so we will be looking to award that RFP to Cunningham Paving for the asphalt work, resurfacing out Sunnybrook. Other than that, the other projects, we're kind of waiting for weather to break and to get started on those. Just some other general planning updates. The planning department completed some GIS updates of all new trails and properties from 2024, so that was entered into our database. And they also created a reforestation application for the NRM team in GIS, and that's for volunteers and staff to enter in data and track how species are doing in some of our reforestation areas and survivability and establishment. And then in addition, planning is finalizing the preliminary plans for the Westwoods Nature Center exhibits expansion. So that's something they're working with architectural consultant on to get finished up here probably in the next couple of weeks.
Any questions for Matt on current projects? Okay. Hearing none, we will move on to new business. Meeting minutes correction, February 20, 2024. Memo from me. Commissioners, on February 20, 2024, motion for the agenda item 2024 aggregate stone materials bid award recommendation was not recorded correctly. The minute shows that Mr. Bates made a motion to approve the bid award after reviewing both audio and video recording of the February 20th, 2024 meeting. It was determined that Mr. Stein made the motion, not Mr. Bates. The motion was seconded by Mr. Carino. The motion and resulting bid award were approved with a yes vote by Mr. Stein, Mr. Carino, Ms. Carducci, and Mr. Legata. Mr. Bates abstained from the vote. Jessica Albers, Secretary to the Board of Park Commissioners, will sign an affidavit affirming this change. We're asking you to affirm this correction with a vote at today's meeting. So with that, I will request a motion to affirm that change.
Legata.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Call the vote. Ms. Carducci?
Yes.
Mr. Bates? Mr. Stein? Mr. Legata? All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is Resolution 3, 2025, request of funds from the ODOT and designation of projects for Ohio Park District Roadwork Fund fiscal year 2026 and 2027 through our peer organization, Ohio Parks Recreation Association. Commissioners, attached will find the resolution required by the Ohio Department of Transportation, ODOT, for the allocation of the Ohio Park District's roadway fund for fiscal year 2026-2027 biennium. The Jaga Park District has participated in this funding program over the past 17 years. Improvement projects have consisted of stone and asphalt materials and labor used to resurface roads and parking lots throughout the district. To participate in this program, Park Board resolution is required, so we will go ahead and ask you to approve Resolution Number 3, 2025. Resolution 3, 2025, dated today, February 18, 2025, regarding the request of funds from the Ohio Department of Transportation, ODOT, and designation of projects for Ohio Park District Roadwork Fund fiscal year 2026-2027 through the Ohio Parks and Recreation Association. Whereas the Board of Park Commissioners, the board for the Jaga Park District, has need for improvement of public park roadways owned and maintained by the Park District in Jaga County. And whereas the Park District was created according to Ohio Revised Code 1545, owns or holds at a minimum 15-year lease of the eligible parkland for roadwork funding and has adequate available resources for the construction and maintenance of requested park road improvements. And whereas the Ohio Park District's roadwork fund is provided by the Ohio Department of Transportation for such purposes as authorized by Ohio Revised Code 5511.06, is subject to the Park District's guidance to ODOT's Metro Park program as prescribed by ODOT, and is coordinated by the Ohio Parks and Recreation Association. And whereas the board is cognizant of the requirements for receiving such funds and agrees to comply with the OPRA policy as clarified at the meeting on December 7, 2010, that the park districts are prohibited from accumulating more than 3 bienniums, 6 years of unused funds, and now therefore be resolved that the Board of Park Commissioners of the Jaga Park District requests a designated allocation from the Ohio Park District's roadwork fund along with any remaining balance of funds in accordance with the following stipulations. Funds can be used for materials and labor necessary for construction or reconstruction of park drives, park roads, newer replacement bridges, park access roads, and parking lots. Funds also may be used for the purchase and hauling of materials for the improvement, repair, and maintenance of park drives, park roads, park access roads, and parking lots, and rental of labor and equipment. Force account labor costs, charges by the Park District employees or associates are ineligible. Ineligible costs include bikeways and items such as shelter houses, wells, pumps, restrooms, facilities, park buildings, etc., etc. All projects must be associated with public vehicular access to be eligible for funding. Funds may be used for eligible construction costs, including construction engineering, testing, and inspection of lead projects. The Park District will pay all costs incurred over the appropriated allocation and also for all costs associated with design, environmental studies, documents, and right-of-way activities. Any deviation from the guidelines regarding environmental studies or roadway design requires the written approval of ODOT. Geauga Park District has designated Matt McHugh, Deputy Director, as the contact person for the local arrangement to sign all documentation on behalf of the Board of Park Commissioners. Anything to say about it? All right, so, regarding the 6-year balance, our planning team, Matt, our entire staff has done a good job of spending it on the biennium, so we have projects lined up.
Currently, we've used all the funds from the last biennium when we did Orchard Hills last year. So this will be in the next 2 years. Any of our resurfacing or asphalt projects we can utilize these funds for. So typically it's around that $54,000 is what we usually get.
Any questions on the resolution? All right, none. Request a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Call the vote. Mr. Lagana.
Yes.
Mr. Marbucci.
Yes.
Mr. Stein.
Yes.
Mr. Bates. Okay, thank you. Next up, surplus items. A few surplus items we're asking you to declare. First up, an Indiana wood desk, item is defective, being declared scrap. Next, an Indiana Arlington wooden desk, item is also defective, declaring it scrap. A Lazy Boy desk chair, declaring it scrap. A Gravely, where the heck goes back? Gravely snow blower attachment, sending it to auction. Jacobson Textron B40 plus debris blower, sending it to auction. Giant back debris blower, sending it to auction. A truck cap that fits a full-size established bed on a truck, sending it to auction. And a lot of 38 kid-sized chairs, sending them to auction. Any questions? Not, request a motion to approve sending those items to surplus property.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Stein.
Yes.
Mr. Carpucci.
Yes.
Mr. Lagana.
Yes.
And Mr. Bates. Next up, Commissioner's time. Start with a few accomplishments and some pictures to show you. While Lucas is getting that ready, want to make mention of a third-place award that we just received through our peer organization, Ohio Parks and Recreation Association. That award was for capital improvement projects up to $500,000 for our Troy Wetlands project in 2024. So a nice little plaque from our peer organization, Ohio Parks and Recreation Association. I was able to attend a conference. There were over 900 attendees, a record. It's been a record for the last number of years. So to achieve even a third place award amongst our peers, and there are 900 people attending a conference from all across the state of Ohio, that's no small feat. So congratulations to the staff, our entire team, particularly our planning department, for designing the project, applying for a NatureWorks grant. First and foremost, our construction team that just did an awesome job with the bridges and the boardwalks at that property. And our naturalists, because it is a birding hotspot for interpretive programming in birding. So nice to be recognized with a third place award. Just pass it around really quick so you can see it. Just wanted to start there.
Also, thank you to Sandy, who does the application, which is pretty involved. So she does all of our award applications every week. Does a nice job with those.
Yeah, that's what you get for hiding back there in the corner. So thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Sandy does a tremendous job with our submissions. So, all right. Start with some recognitions. We'll start with Natural Resource Management. In late January, Land Steward Matt Neidel was a featured guest at the Chagrin River Watershed Partners Speaker Series, where he lectured about invasive plant management in our parks, natural areas conservation, rare species protection, and how homeowners can control problem plants on their properties. Natural Resource Management also just finished writing its annual park by park report on invasive plant management. Special thanks goes out to Kent State University's Geauga Branch in Burton, which for almost 10 years has granted us the use of its greenhouse to start to grow native trees, shrubs, and wildflowers for our annual Earth Day drive-through plant sale. scheduled this year for Saturday, April 19th. So thank you to Kent State University Chocolate Branch. All right. On to grounds and facilities. In January, the 3 zones, north, south, and west, managed 245 reservations. They valiantly, been keeping up with the snow and ice management, allowing patrons continuous access to the parks regardless of weather. As of last week, Chardon has seen 74.4 inches of snow. And personally, it can stop anytime. All right, moving on to this PowerPoint featuring Wild Bound Winter Nights event, which was well attended. Some nice recognition of this event. This month, Jogging Park District welcomed a brand new event on the cold, clear, snow-covered Saturday, February 1st from 6 to 9. Jogging Park District hosted its first ever Wild Winter Nights to the north of our county right here at Big Creek Park, with all the activities completely outdoors. We had approximately 435 guests enjoyed a roaring bonfire, special views of Jupiter and the moon through telescopes, a snow snakes game, a luminary lit trail, naturalist-led owl hikes, and hot cocoa and s'mores. Near the nature-based playground, where children also made their own fun on all the lasting snow. Thanks to our creative naturalist staff for providing something new to get people outside and embracing the cold. And especially to Bobby Fowler from North Operations for keeping a bonfire raging the entire time. So, great idea. So we're proud to host that new event for our residents. And finally, during the month of January, Naturalist hosted 96 programs, served 2,083 patrons, 2,629 guests visited the Westwoods Nature Center, and while they were there, 97 patrons had the opportunity to borrow our snowshoes.